everybody. How are you tonight? It is so good to see you. Well, to be here, to have a story for you. And yeah, so I named tonight's story for you while I am gone, Wild Thing. Well, because I am probably off the plane by the time you hear this, and I am in Johannesburg. And ready, awaiting the pickup to be taken to Botswana. So I thought it was appropriate to start this little after I did the one last night about musical rainbow, and then tonight it's Wild Thing. And so you can probably guess what I'm going to read, um, but I'm going to start with another book first because this is kind of where this person got their starting. I am doing a couple books tonight from Sendak, from Maurice Sendak. And I am going to read Where the Wild Things Are, but I'm also going to read another book that was by someone equally as impactful in children's literature, who passed away in 1993 at the age of 91. And that would be Ruth Krauss. And you might not know her name, but if you ever saw the book The Carrot Seed, very simple little carrot seed books, and you would know that that was Ruth Krauss. And so I have a little bit of things to share with you about her. So she was the author of The Carrot Seed, A Hole is to Dig, and the first book of definitions, and other books for children. And she died in her home in Westport, Connecticut in 93. She was 91 on July 15th of 1993. And this was what was written about her. She was born in Baltimore, where she attended the Peabody Institute of Music. She received a bachelor's degree from the Parsons School of Fine and Applied Art in New York City. Her first book, A Good Man and His Good Wife, with illustrations by the abstract painter Ad Reinhardt, was published in 1944. And over the next four decades, she wrote 34 more books for children, many of them illustrated by her husband, David Johnson Leask, who wrote children's books under the pen name Crockett Johnson. He died in 1975. 8 of Ms. Krauss's books were illustrated by Maurice Sendak, beginning in 1952 with A Hole is to Dig. Now, I looked for that one and I could not find it to check out. Maybe I'll hunt further. At a time when children's books tended to be didactic with lots of text, Ms. Krauss pioneered the use of minimal text, concentrating on precise language, and working closely with an illustrator. In addition to children's books, Ms. Krauss wrote verse plays and poetry for adults. She was awarded the Caldecott Medal for The Happy Days in 1950 and A Very Special House in 1954. And that's the one I'm going to read tonight. It was illustrated by Maurice Sendak. And let me tell you a little about Maurice Sendak. Yeah. Um, he was born in 1928 lived at 1928 to 2012. He was born in Brooklyn, New York, to Jewish immigrant parents from Poland. A largely self-taught artist, Sendak illustrated over 150 books during his 60-year career. It goes on to say he had collaborated with celebrated authors along the way. Sendak began a second career as a costume and stage designer in the late 1970s, designing operas that included Krauss's Brundibar, Mozart's The Magic Flute, The Love for Three Oranges, and Hansel and Gretel, as well as Tchaikovsky's ballet The Nutcracker. I remember in Seattle, the Seattle Ballet puts on the Nutcracker every year. And the year that they implemented Sendak's um, set design and completely redid the costumes and the set design with that, it was stunning. Yeah. Um, send and let's see, he wrote books and lyrics for the musical production of Really Rosie. He remains the most honored children's book artist in history. He was the recipient of 1964 Caldecott Medal, the 1970 Hans Christian Andersen Award, the 1983 Laura Ingalls Wilder Award, and 2003 Astrid Lindgren Memorial Award. In 1996, President Bill Clinton presented him with the National Medal of Arts in recognition for his contribution to the arts in America. Here's this picture down here where the wild things are. In 1972, Sendak moved to Ridgefield, Connecticut with his partner of 50 years, the psychiatrist Dr. Eugene Glynn. Since Sendak's death in 2012, the Maurice Sendak Foundation has overseen the publication of virtually all of his picture books in new and faithfully rendered editions. Let's see that's about him. Um, that's about the board where the wild things are and whatnot. But so this first book that I'm going to show you um, is A Very Special House, and it was one that is just really showed some of his amazing work and but what he could do to tie in with an author's um, style. How she wrote in such minimal language in this, Ruth Krauss did, and what he did for the illustrations is just something to behold. So here we have A Very Special House by Ruth Krauss, pictures by Maurice Sendak. The pictures are meant to show what goes on inside a little boy's mind. Other books, The Carrot Seed, The Growing Story, Bears, Be Happy, Backward Day, Bundle Book, A Hole is to Dig in a Very Special House. Pictures by Maurice Sendak. Look at that. So you'll see the minimal use of color in this, very minimal. Dee dee dee, oh oh. I know a house. It's not a squirrel house. It's not a donkey house. It's not a house you'd see. It's not in any street. It's not in any road. Oh, it's just a house for me, me, me. Okay, I'll dance so long. There's a bed that's very special, and a shelf that's very special, and chairs are very special, but it's not to take a seat. And the doors are very special, and the walls are very special, and a table very special where to put your feet, feet, feet. I'm bringing home a turtle and a rabbit and a giant and a little dead mouse. I take it everywheres, and some monkeys and some skunkies and a very old lion which is eating all the stuffing from the chairs, chairs, chairs. The lion gets fatter. They and I are making secrets, and we're falling over laughing, and we're running in and out, and we hooey, hooey, hooey. When then we think we are some chickens, then we're singing in the opera, then we're going, 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 ooey, ooey, ooey. Oh, ooey, 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 ooey. We're sprinkling cracker crumbs under all the cushions, and that lion keeps snoring, going snore, 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 and the monkeys are all dancing with their special monkey feeling, like they're leaving little footprints on the ceiling, ceiling, ceiling. And I'm hopping and I'm skipping and I'm jumping and I'm bumping, and everywhere is music. And the giant spilled his drinking and it went all down the floor. And the rabbit ate a piece out of my very best door. And everybody's yelling for more, more, more. More, 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 blop, blop, blop. More, 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 more. Nobody ever says stop, stop, stop. I know a house. It's not a squirrel house. It's not a donkey house. Just like I said, it's not up on a mountain and it's not down in a valley. It's not down in a hole and it's not down in our alley. And it's not up in a tree or underneath the bed. Oh, it's right in the middle. Oh, it's reet in the meedle. Oh, it's root in the moodle of my head, head, head. Dee dee dee, oh, do, do, do. And that is copyright 1953, renewed in 1981. Oh, yeah. Ruth Krauss' intuitive ability as a writer to capture the free-spirited thought processes and language of young children ensures her books widespread acceptance and timeless appeal. So concludes her entry in Children's Books and Their Creators in 1995. And that is A Very Special House by Ruth Krauss. Pictures by Maurice Sendak. Now that you show the style that he did, but that one and this one was done, what did I say, what year? 1953. He illustrated that. Then, this is one of his own. He wrote and illustrated this one himself. This is the 50th anniversary edition. It was the winner of the 1964 Caldecott, which means it was published in 1963. Where the Wild Things Are, when it first came out, yeah, he's done some books that have been somewhat sometimes controversial, and people didn't always get them. But I tell you, the ones that get them are the kids. They absolutely love it. Let me just move this camera up a bit. Hang on. Put you on pause. Okay. I put you on pause for just a minute while I adjusted the level of the book where it was so you can see it. Where the Wild Things Are. Story and Pictures by Maurice Sendak. We'll get past that glare in just a second. It's got a dust cover on it. You see, he was famous for his hatchwork. And I don't know, let's go back and look here. Did he use hatchwork in here? To some degree, a little bit, but not a lot. Um, so this is a book that he did not use his, because it was for Ruth Krauss, different. He was, for his own work, he's very famous for the hatchwork that he did in his illustrations. That line there you can see, just zoom and pan, see if I can zoom in on that for you really quick. So you can see the hatchwork of that. That was one of his signature styles. something for his work. Let's go back a little bit further. There you go. Where the Wild Things Are. Stories and pictures by Maurice Sendak. Let's get me out of the way. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another, his mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." And so he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew. Expand your pictures there. I forgot that. And grew and grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day, and in and out of weeks, and almost over a year to where the wild things are. And when he came to a place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all, and made him king of all the wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." Yes, the wild rumpus keeps going and going. "Now stop," Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." And the wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye and sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. And that's where the wild things are. You look at these. Where is one of the pages? This has some of the cross hatching. So here, I'll show you up close. You can see the lines and then the light cross hatching that he did. That Sendak was really, look at this. That's how he created the texture and the furs for the wild things. And it was such a different style than anybody else used. He even used it in some degree in the water. Kind of hard to see the water down there. And here in the land, right there, you can see the cross hatching and how he created the shadow behind Max with that cross hatching. Such an amazing artist for what he did. And that is where the wild things are. Yeah. Story and Pictures by Maurice Sendak. Those are just a couple of Sendak's books that I wanted to share with you while I'm off where the wild things are. I thought it was appropriate and that it would be fun to read them and when you see them. I hope to share more of Sendak's. I don't have any with me right now or checked out. They seem to be pretty popular. So when I grab another one, I will read it again, probably when I'm back. But you guys, until next time, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. Thanks for being here, for listening in. I'll try to send information or pictures or post shorts of what I'm doing. But you know what I'm doing. I'm looking for that beauty, and I know it's all around me with these wild animals that I get to see and this beautiful country that I've never seen. But you can find it in your own backyard. But you also know the first place to find it is go look in the mirror, and it'll be looking right back at you. Till next time, take care.
All we need is a place to be and a few good friends for some company. If you'd like to stay, you don't have to leave. We'll leave the lights on and the door unlocked. If you drop on by, you don't have to knock. We're happy to share whatever we've got.